The Justice Department defended the Biden administration's latest federal ban on evictions in a court filing last week. The department cited concerns over the Delta variant. The original eviction moratorium ended on July 31st, but the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention temporarily extended the ban last Tuesday for areas of the country battling increasing COVID-19 cases. I want to bring in CBS News legal contributor and Loyola Law School professor Jessica Levinson. Hi there, Jessica. So a federal judge in Washington, D.C. on Monday suggested the Biden administration is participating in, quote, gamesmanship by bringing back the ban on evictions. What does this mean?
Well, it was an interesting hearing in the sense that the judge who was appointed by President Trump did say, look, it looks like, given what the Biden administration said, given what we've all seen over the past few weeks, that what we all think happened, that there was a lot of political pressure for the Biden administration to extend this moratorium. But over the course of the hearing, she also grilled the attorneys for the landlords and the realtors and said, look, I'm a district court judge. There's a D.C. Court of Appeals decision that let a previous iteration of this moratorium continue. Tell me how I'm not hamstrung by that. Tell me how that isn't controlling. So she did give both sides a difficult time. It is the same judge who a few months ago said, I think the CDC overstepped its authority. So we know what her thinking is. But she also said very clearly, you know, I'm a trial court judge. There's a court of appeals here, and we don't know exactly what the Supreme Court would do. We think we know, but we don't know for sure. So that's basically where things stand today.
Well, the lawsuit was originally filed by the Alabama and Georgia chapters of the National Association of Realtors. What's the significance, Jessica, of their involvement, especially from those two states?
Yeah, well, I think the significance of their involvement is to show, one, that there is real economic issues at play here, and that, you know, from these particular states, I mean, unfortunately, it means that this has really become a kind of red versus blue argument, and that your arguments on whether or not you think this legal issue, whether or not the CDC has this authority, have also fallen on partisan lines. But if we think back to when this eviction moratorium was first put into place, it was put into place by the Trump administration. The Trump administration said, we need to do something about this. And first it was a bit narrower, just dealing with rental properties where federal assistance was part of it. And then it broadened out, and there's regulatory authority under a 1944 law for the CDC to do this. It broadened out under the Trump administration, and then it continued to be upped, continued that we're going to, you know, allow this eviction moratorium to continue under the Biden administration. So I know it's hard to take politics out of it, but I really hope everybody says the legal issue before the, you know, regardless of who brought it, the legal issue before the judge is really whether or not the CDC and or the administration has this authority.
Well, landlords do still have an obligation to maintain residences during the eviction moratorium, even though they're not collecting income from tenants. What legal avenues could they pursue in order to receive assistance?
Yeah, I think that I think actually the legal avenues will be more political avenues. And the landlords will argue, look, we have contracts. We have contracts with our tenants, and you, federal government, are breaking these contracts. And so we still have all of our obligations, but our tenants have none of their obligations. And so what they're going to do is really say that this is an undue burden, it's economically harmful, it's unfair for the federal government to try and unwind all of these contracts. And I think what they'll do is go to the Biden administration and say, if you really want to make sure people don't lose their homes, then you need to provide subsidies instead. And I think they'll also remind the Biden administration that not every landlord is a multi-million-dollar corporation. There are a lot of landlords that are small, you know, family-owned landlords, and that's the only way that they can pay their rent is from their rental income. So I think they'll both pursue an avenue in the courts, but also a political avenue of saying there's a different way to do this to make sure that nobody is tossed out of their homes.
And Jessica, can the Biden administration continue extending the ban on evictions, even though it was only intended for temporary use? And will they at this point, you think?
It's a big and great question. So, of course, I think when we continue to extend this, people thought that the pandemic wouldn't last this long, or it would get better, or who anticipated the Delta variant at this particular moment. So I think the Biden administration will say, look, we have the regulatory authority. There's this old law from the 1940s. It gives the Secretary of Health and Human Services authority in this area. The CDC has regulatory authority to try and implement regulations that would prevent the transmission of communicable diseases. And they would say, look, circumstances are changing. We have this authority. But on the other hand, we, of course, have to look at the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court just recently allowed the eviction moratorium to stand, and in a really divided decision where all of the conservative justices said, all but one of the conservative justices basically said, look, we would allow this eviction moratorium to end now. Justice Kavanaugh said, I'm only allowing it to continue, but just for this one time. I don't think the CDC has authority in this area. So the Biden administration, you asked me, are they going to continue? I think we're going to have to wait on the Supreme Court for that one to see if they really have the authority to do so.
All right, Jessica Levinson for us. Jessica, thank you very much.
Thank you.